What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Cigar Idiots. I am Rob, and today I'm very happy to have my good friend back in here with me, Jason Hamilton. Jason, what's happening, man?
Not much, man. Just got through training, so sweating and stinking.
Yeah? How many people did you have this morning?
This morning, we had a pretty big morning class.
I saw the picture from last night.
Yeah, I think we had 14 in this morning, which is big for a 9 a.m. class, but we had 51 in last night.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, huge.
Unreal. That's awesome.
Huge.
And I saw PJ got his brown belt.
Yeah, huge.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy because I started training with PJ when he was 16 and he's 25 now. So
yeah.
We're talking like not almost a decade in.
Yeah.
So we've been training together forever.
That's good. I couldn't
be a better guy.
No doubt. I was about to say, couldn't happen to a better dude. So absolutely.
Jim wouldn't run without him either.
Tell me what's going on with the school now, and tell all our listeners again the name of the school, where you're located, all that good stuff.
So Scramble Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Wrestling is the name of the school. We're at 216 Broad Street, Rome, Georgia. We do lots of stuff. I mean, primarily we're grappling right now, so we do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the gi. We do a lot of no gi. We're kind of a little unorthodox. We 50-50, so we do gi and no gi. But we do the same amount of training. We offer collegiate wrestling classes on the weekend. We're doing crazy. We just moved to Broad Street from.
You got a new location since the last time I talked to you?
Yeah, this is our new location since the last time I was in. We've been here since June. We upgraded from 1,700 square foot to 3,400 square foot. Bigger mat, bigger location.
The place looks awesome too.
Yeah, dude, we look
It's
like
a great spot.
Yeah, we look like a real gym now.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we look like it's a good place for a boy from Lindell.
Yeah,
plus 200 block, man. Like you can't get a better location for foot traffic.
No doubt.
Block in Rome, like right next to Mellow Mushroom, across the street from the City Creamery.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great spot. We probably put in 40 new people just since we moved in 2.5 months.
Yeah, I believe it.
Like it's crazy. I think we're sitting at 127 students right now.
Okay, 127.
Yeah, 127 students, and August 1st was our 2-year anniversary from opening. So
yeah, that's awesome, dude. I'm proud of you. That's cool. Yeah, I keep looking over your shoulder sometimes because people walk past the door and I'm like a squirrel, man. I can't not look. I'm like, are they coming to kill me?
Is the ball?
Or are they here? So, you guys had a big victory too. You took your whole team out.
Yep.
Was it Naga?
Yeah. So we went to a local Naga tournament, and we won the team overall championship, which is a super big victory.
It's a big accomplishment
for a local in-house team. We are part of an affiliation, Carlos Catiana, but we are the only affiliation of him in the state of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So, but competing under just our team, we beat huge affiliations. So, like for people that don't understand what that means is, I don't want to call out any affiliations,
sure.
Because it's very political. But like an affiliation would be, let's say like Nike, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then like Nike puts their name up, and then Nike says, "Oh, this is my team," and then there's 20 schools that
they
brings
get under the umbrella.
Yeah, that brings teams, and they all compete under this one name.
Mm-hmm.
So that head coach that is Nike might not even know any of these guys that train at these schools. They might only know the coaches at the school. So I think that's kind of crazy that I know and PJ knows because he's my main assistant
And you
coach.
personally train
every single one of the guys that we brought, and we only brought 24 people. And we personally train and we coached, and I even had students because I competed. This first time I've competed in 7 years.
7 years to get back in there.
7 years, and because it's so hard to coach and compete at the same time.
It's two different mindsets.
Yeah, I mean, to be a coach, you have to be completely selfless,
Mm-hmm.
because I have to give every spare second I have to the students, and to be a competitor, you have to be selfish. Every second you're in the gym, you have to think about yourself. You have to think about your conditioning, the time you have for each rep, each drill, each technique, to get everything you can, because like when you walk out there, I mean, it's a combat sport, and like every match you have could potentially be the last match you ever have. Like
That's right.
I mean, it's not about like you could get hurt, but you could get injured. So like, and now that no-gi grappling is blowing up in the scene, there are people that are making a living. There's guys that are making millions of dollars a year doing no-gi grappling, not in the gi. Like legitimately, I think in the next 10 years that gi grappling is going to dwindle away.
I think so.
100%.
Do you remember how like it was beating our heads in an earlier? You gotta wear the gi. You gotta train in the gi.
Dude,
you know,
dude, there's still people that say that, but they're not born in this country.
Okay, I believe that.
There's still people that say that they're not born in this country, and they're holding on to the old ways, and we could really get into that talk too. That's that whole new, like, there's like this big, like the big thing of like American Jiu-Jitsu that's really popping up, and people hate it, and I don't think it's disrespectful to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I just think it's like an evolution. It's an evolution, and I don't think it's like Americans taking, like saying like we are creating this, but it's like it's different. It's not even the embodiment of gi.
It's a hybrid.
It's a
wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
Wrestling. I think it's like last night when I was doing my promotion for PJ, I put American Jiu-Jitsu on the title of my jiu-jitsu that I teach, and I believe that like I teach gi and I teach no gi, but I don't believe in just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like I teach sport jiu-jitsu at my school, but I believe in grappling in a whole. Like me and you, we both came up, like the first form of grappling I ever did was Sambo. And then when Sambo disappeared, there was nothing I could do but collegiate wrestling. So I started wrestling, and then there was a judo school, so I started doing judo. And then when judo left, thank God, I ran into Jesse, and I started training no-gi grappling in his garage.
How long ago was that?
Bro, the first time I ever started grappling was 22 years ago, so it was 1999. So when I started training was 1999. So
when everything's still so new.
2 decades ago, when nobody knew anything.
But Jesse's rolling without a gi.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so we're training in his garage, and I was doing, I went to the Junior Olympics in 2004 for judo, but I hated judo really. I thought it was really boring, just because matches were over in like 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But it was really because I was, I don't want to say I was really good at wrestling, but I was good enough at wrestling that it made me really good at judo, because back then you could do hand to leg attacks, and I think it might have been like 2012-ish when they banned it. So like you can't do double legs, you can't do hand, you can only do like the traditional judo throws now, like Moroto Gari, which would be like a double leg. It's banned now, you can't do it. So like, if me being a black belt in judo, if I was to go to a competition now, I'd probably get
disqualified.
Either that or get smoke shows. Like I'd probably get embarrassed by
Yeah.
like a green belt because I don't practice judo anymore.
Right.
But back then I just demolished guys because of the posture. Wrestling, you have a bent over stance. It's designed to make it hard for you to get to the legs. And in judo, you have you're very straight up. Your back's kind of back. Your hips are in because you're worried about guys reaching in and grabbing your lapels. So as guys were back like that, all I did was just just like head in the sternum, grabbing legs, put them on their back. If you didn't get the full point throw, I was already pretty well versed in newaza, which is ground fighting, and most judo guys are. I'm not gonna be disrespectful, but they're not
back then.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, they're not very good on the mat, because in sport judo you only have very few seconds. It's kind of like freestyle wrestling. You have like 4 to 6 seconds to turn someone into a pin, or get them in a submission, or they stop the match and stand you back up. Just like freestyle wrestling. As soon as I take you down, I have a very few amount of seconds to turn you and expose your back to the mat, or they stop it and stand you back up. Which is what I loved about wrestling, because freestyle wrestling, because mat wrestling is hard.
Yeah.
Like it wears you out.
If you look at judo too, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but judo is stiff. I mean, judo is a stiff sport. So if you've got, I can totally see how the wrestler has the advantage.
With the hand to leg attacks.
For sure.
Well, that's I really believe that's the reason they banned it, because college level wrestlers, which I wasn't. College level wrestlers were coming in and beating a world elite level
like
judokins.
Yeah, like 8. What is it? What do they call them? Like 8th degree, whatever. You're just going in there and handling.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, you know, like a national champ, a world champion, like a Division I level wrestler. I mean, you don't get much higher level of an athlete than a Division I level wrestler.
Mhm.
Like, it's crazy.
Right. Well, I know that everything's blowing up at your school, man, and I'm super proud of you. And
Yeah, it took long enough.
we definitely. Well, you know what? They always say the things
2
that
decades.
things that are worth having are not easy to obtain. So I'm trying to teach myself that lesson right now. In a couple of things that I'm doing with my job. Yes, we'll get into that. We won't get into that ever. So I'm going to talk about it. But the reason I brought you in here is because you and I, and probably with the majority of the world, seem to have some hard feelings towards Jake Paul and the things that he's doing in the world. There's some good things that people are saying. There's a lot of bad, negative shit that people are saying. So we're just going to kind of break him down today, and just expose it for what it is.
So professional boxing in general, I think, is on the same set of MMA in Asia, right? There's a
Big
bit,
difference.
yeah. Well, there's a bit of a myth of whether it's fixed or not. Like Canelo. Canelo's a bad one. He's bad.
Yeah.
Like, he is good. Like, there's no chance, like, no doubt that he is a good boxer. Jake Paul, on the other hand, he's not fighting boxers.
No.
Mayweather's good. Like, one of the best of all time.
Right.
But if you watch Mayweather's fight with him, Mayweather knocked him out and then held him up from falling.
Yeah.
Like, exhibition fight, Jake Paul outweighs him, 30 pounds,
Right.
25 pounds, which would have never happened. No business. As I'm not a fighter anymore, but at one point in my life, I fought mixed martial arts. I was an amateur boxer. But as a former fighter, I find it disrespectful for someone to for someone to be able to go, hey, I can get in the ring with someone like Mayweather and not earn my spot. Like, just because I'm a millionaire. Like,
he's paid to fight this guy.
yeah, I get to pay to get in the ring with someone and never earn it through blood, sweat, and tears, like all these other guys who are never going to get a chance to get in,
fight this guy.
Yeah, not even just to get to earn the honor to be in the ring with Mayweather. Like, I mean, that's just like, have the honor to lose to a man like that. Like, there's fighters that would give, they would give up their families, their jobs, their homes, and they would
to the craft.
They would live on the streets for the rest of their life to get in the ring in front of a stadium of people just to lose to him.
Yeah.
Like, and then you're like, well, I'm a millionaire and I do stupid stuff on YouTube, so I get to get in the ring and we can fake box and you can knock me out with maybe $2 million
you can
a
hit me a
piece.
couple of shots. They probably made how much?
We'll do a lot.
There's
way more than the Tyrone Woodley. I looked it up and they both made $2 million a piece.
Yeah.
Tyrone Woodley and him, which is probably Tyrone Woodley's biggest payday. Biggest payday ever. Which is the biggest payday ever for
He was a champion.
An absolute fake fight.
Yeah, it was.
Absolute fake
The
fight.
thing that I look at too, with Logan and Jake, Logan, I don't know how he.
One of them was a Division I athlete.
Yeah, I think it was Logan.
But he's a wrestler.
I think so. I think he was. But it's amazing that Logan. I mean, the Logan Paul Mayweather fight was just a word, man. That's all it was. It's like a high-paid pro wrestling event.
Yeah.
Basically. So, but you look at Jake, and he's had, he's 4-0 now. He's 4-0. He's got 2 cupcakes and Ben Askren and.
Well, Ben Askren. I mean, oh my God! Like, you pick. So you're fighting MMA fighters, right? You pick.
You take away their strengths.
Well, Ben Askren.
Yeah.
One of the best wrestlers in American history. Was a good MMA fighter. Like, he fought on the biggest stage. You can't take that away from him. But what did he do in MMA? He out wrestled people.
Right.
He probably admitted himself, he has probably the worst stand-up in mixed martial arts history.
If you're looking for a fight a book, if you're Jake Paul,
Oh, why would you not do that?
that's the one you're picking.
Plus Askren's very intelligent, so he's gonna give a good press conference.
Mhm.
He's gonna talk good
He's a
trash.
talker, yeah.
He's gonna talk good trash. I mean, he can sell.
Yeah.
Like he can sell better than Tyrone can. Like I mean, like so like as far as like the banter goes, but I mean, look at him. Like he can't box.
He looked like me with my shirt off. That's what he
Yeah.
looked like. Let's be honest. That's exactly what he looked like.
He hasn't looked like an athlete since he was in college.
He has
Yeah.
not. He has
Yeah.
not. So, you look at with Jake Paul getting his whole life started. He started out doing Vine videos. That's where he got his fame from. He actually had a part in a Disney Channel series. I think it was called Bizarre Park or something like that, something odd. So he's kind of been in the limelight at an early age, and of course YouTube comes around, and he's an influencer. He's got tied into YouTube, got all these followers, which it blows my mind. I remember when I first started hearing about these influencers and YouTubers making all this money, I was like, that's not real.
Can't be.
There's no way people are paying money to watch
Yeah,
this
how
guy
are you getting
take a shit
$100,000
in the mailbox.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I've been doing that for
Has
years.
anybody done
Yeah.
that? I got arrested for humping lawn characters.
Lawn gnomes.
Lawn gnomes, yeah. But those points are rough on the hats. But you know, he's very controversial. He had got accused of putting out content there that was inappropriate for young kids. You know, just always was pushing the envelope,
Which is good for views.
Which is good for views.
Great
yeah.
for views.
Everybody loves to watch a car wreck.
Yeah, well, it's either it's good for views because people that don't like it will watch it so they can complain about
bash on him,
it. So they can complain about it.
Kind of like I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
On my podcast. But he's got into this thing where he was going to be a fighter, okay? And nobody took him serious. I mean, nobody's taking this guy serious. And people were taking fights with him probably because they thought he'd be a pushover. And it was a good payday for him. But we all know the devil's in the details, and we know those contracts get wrote up. There's certain stipulations. There's things on. Oh, you can hit me with a couple of good shots, but you know, if you want to make this $2 million, this is how it's going to go down.
Oh, absolutely.
And you got guys. And it's like I said, it's almost an embarrassment. The one thing that he's saying, he's trying to get the MMA world on his side, is that he's offering an opportunity for these fighters to make money that they should be making.
Retired fighters. Which is complete up.
Way different.
Jorge Masvidal wants a fight.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, that's someone who cannot be bought off.
No.
Who is an amazing striker.
And a street fighter at that. I mean, he will
came up rough.
Yeah.
Amazing striker. That would be one that I would pay.
I would pay to watch that.
I would not pay to watch any of these other ones.
No,
on top of the cards in general are put together terribly. It's kind of like, I mean, they're kind of like rap shows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like one fight, some music, one fight, some dancers, one fight.
Everybody's smoking pot.
Yeah, I was like,
everybody's getting high.
Yeah, I was like, it's really more of it's a show more than it is a fight card.
Yeah, it's more like a pay-per-view circus.
Yeah.
Kinda. So, you know, he has the first fight he had. Let me try to look real quick. I know Nate Robinson from the Yankees, the Knicks, pro basketball player.
Yeah, basketball player.
I mean, he did. I mean, he straight up demolished. But this guy's a basketball player.
Someone who's not a fighter.
He's not a fighter.
People talk about athletes. Like, oh, well, he's a professional athlete. Yeah. You're right. Someone who can be a professional athlete, someone who's an athlete on that level, can be great at anything.
Mm-hmm.
That they spend the same amount of time that they dedicated to that one thing.
Their entire life.
He spent his whole life being that good at basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he would have decided at 8 years old that he wanted to be a boxer
And a basketball player?
he would be just as good at boxing as he was at basketball, but he didn't do that.
It's like putting Usain Bolt in a swimming pool with Michael Phelps. It's I mean,
exactly the same. But if Usain Bolt would have decided as a small kid that he wanted to be a great swimmer, he would have been a great swimmer.
Right.
Like,
you can't swim away from lions, though.
No,
That's why he chose to run.
right.
The first fight he had what is this guy? He was a influencer, amateur white collar boxer. What was his name? KSI is what they went by. Technical knockout in the 5th round. I never even heard of this dude. It's probably just too.
So that guy actually had a boxing career?
Says he was a amateur white collar boxer. But
What does that even mean?
Dude, it's just a pad in the stats
That
for
mean-
Jake Paul. I think
So it means he had an amateur career. So it's the only guy that he's fought who had an amateur career.
boxing.
Which means he had like 3 or 4 smokers.
Yeah. Or he fought in somebody's backyard bum fights.
Which for people
Pretty much
that,
is a smoker.
yeah, what people, so for the people that don't know, a smoker is an unsanctioned boxing match. So like,
Remember the smokers at Alpha?
dude, yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah.
Those were great fights.
Remember the smokers we used to have at Lee Fortune's gym
Yeah.
in Cave Springs?
Yeah.
Dude, so like local gyms.
Great fights.
Great fights. So local gyms, they like to get your fighters ready to before they go to sanctioned fights that count on their records. You'll hold events at your school and you invite other schools in, or you even put your own fighters against each other sometimes. You invite people, sell little tickets, and you'll get a referee or whatever. And then you let them fight, and this just builds experience, let them kind of get the feel of fighting in front of people, so they can get that experience before they're in front of 300, 2,000 people, because that itself is something you can't really prepare
Oh,
for.
right.
So you get a lot of you can do a lot of those before you get out there and start fighting. So that way, when you get out there and you're 0-0 for your first fight, you're really not 0-0. You're really had 13, 14 fights.
Mhm.
It doesn't really count. So like I remember we used to go to Lee's when I was fighting, because Rob was one of my coaches back then.
Yeah.
And we go to Lee's and I'd show up. I was 145 pounds, and they'd be like, "All right, Jason, we got a 180.
Yeah, there was never
We
anybody
got
your size.
we got a 205. We got a 220."
And he was like, okay.
I was like, "All right, bud." It's, dude, I fought 4 or 5 times
Yeah.
on one Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, "I don't care, guys. I'm just here to I'm just trying to get some ring time."
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old
It
days.
was.
Yeah.
And you know, I mentioned on the, Jake Paul had fought Nate Robinson on the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. undercard. Of course, Jake hit him with a goofy ass punch and knocked him out in the second round, in the minute 24 in the second round. Again, fighting the guy
He can box him.
with he
Yeah, he can box. He can box.
I mean, he's actually spending some time in the gym. He's learning his craft. We'll get to the end of that. Then he calls out Ben Askren, and we talked about, Askren's a former Bellator MMA and a 1 welterweight champion. He fought in the UFC, could not get past George Masvidal.
They fought middleweight.
And I think that once he got beat by Masvidal, he decided that he wanted to change careers.
That was probably
A smart
the
move.
most vicious knockout in MMA history.
Yeah, it was, man,
The most vicious.
one of the fastest too. So
You know, is it?
I think it may
I
be
think
the
it's the
fastest
record.
knockout. Yeah,
I think it's the record. I think he beat Dwayne Liquid's knockout.
I think he did.
It's gotta be. That was probably
But if you think about
that would change someone's career
Yeah.
watching that. Like
Yeah.
you see that, you're like, no, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
Yeah, for sure. You're checking that out, and you're like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you're in a gym. You're like, I think
I'm gonna fight.
I think I want to fight. And you're like, let's go to Hooters and watch the fights this Friday. And you watch that, and you're like, bro, I think I want to go to college and be an accountant.
Yeah, and you hear somebody's jaw get crunched like that. It's like, no, I want to do something different with my life.
I'll tell you, or like Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey,
Oh, that
where
head kick?
she got her jaw broke.
Yeah. And then the meme where they had the kids off of Boys in the Hood. They said, "You want to see a dead body?" And
Oh,
then they got
that's-
Ronda Rousey's like laid out
Oh,
like this.
yeah.
Bad.
The internet's ruthless.
It is. It's my favorite thing. But after Jake Paul fights Ben Askren, or that conversation, you think about the money that Askren's made in MMA, even in wrestling. He's on the tail end of his career fighting.
He already retired.
Yeah,
from MMA.
so
he runs a very successful school up in Wisconsin.
Now he's got a whole lot more money to do it. So
And he's a
that's-
professional frisbee player. Was that frisbee golf?
Frisbee golf. Is he
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, he's super good.
Oh, dude.
I think he's like a national champ or
That's
something. Like,
hilarious.
he's super good. I think he plays like world championships. or
Okay.
something.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Dude, he throws like 100 yards. Like super
I've
ridiculous.
seen some of those videos where those dudes just launch one.
He's
and it
super
goes right in the net.
He's played in like a pro-am not like a couple weeks ago.
We have to try that out.
No,
we need to do some frisbee golf.
I throw frisbees like a boomerang. Like, it's just
I throw frisbees like somebody.
it's worse than
dead
remember
arm.
we used to play. You remember we used to play golf all the time?
Yes.
It's way I played frisbee way worse than that.
Remember when we played golf with Jesse?
Yeah.
And he would be like, he wouldn't ride in the cart. He would hit his ball and he would chase it down like a Labrador Retriever.
Yeah.
And then he'd hit it again real fast. Again. I'm like,
Dude, we don't always got to work out. We don't always got. It's always not always.
I'm
about
like, it's
exercise.
golf, man. Let's just.
Yeah,
let's
we're
dial
really
it back.
look. We're really out here just to drink and get sunburned.
Right. The last fight, Jake Paul calls out Tyrone Woodley, who has left the UFC. Tyrone Woodley was a UFC welterweight champion. He was a bad dude in his own right.
In his time. Before he decided to go the music route, he was an amazing fighter. I'm sure he's still an amazing fighter.
I still don't understand that whole move. I don't get it.
I would assume, right? I would assume that there was someone in his ear.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what happens.
Because they're probably getting a piece of whatever he's.
Yeah. You got someone in your ear telling you you're a little better at something than you really are because they are getting a little piece of the action.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think he got a couple movie roles. He's probably not a great actor.
No.
His music was, the 2 songs that I heard was not good at all.
I never heard them, but I'm gonna have to. We'll have to put those on our social media.
Yeah, you can definitely YouTube that.
All right.
They were not bangers.
Okay.
And but soon, like when he lost his title, that was why he was out recording albums. Like he even mentioned publicly that he was like, I was not in the gym, I was recording music, like
I was dropping in beats.
Yeah, dropping bars. And why would you do that? You're the champion of the world, and you're fighting the number 1 pound for pound guy in the world in your weight class. This bastard's dangerous.
He will kill you.
He's dangerous. Usman will hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not playing.
No.
I don't got time to listen to music unless I'm on a bag. Like,
or on
like,
a treadmill.
Yeah, like you got to be serious, and he didn't take it serious, and it showed.
It showed, yeah.
It showed, and that was pretty much the end of his career. But like, 100%, this was a payday. Like,
no doubt. And then they tried to get him. He's trying to get him to fight him again. He's like, let's run it back.
Who wouldn't run it back for $2 million?
Oh, I would. Hell,
I'll
fight him right now.
I'll fight Jake Paul with my hands behind my back for $2 million. I'll fight him without throwing a punch for $50. Like, well, let's get paid. Buy me some chicken fingers.
Takedowns.
Yeah, let's buy. I give it to you for $50. Let's go.
It's sad though, man, because you watch. I don't care if these guys got paid or not, man. They sold their dignity.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, you took your dignity and you just threw it right in the trash when you signed that contract.
Now,
I'm not saying if somebody comes in here and wastes $2 million of me to buy our podcast out.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you were not ever in your life at one point the baddest man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone Woodley was.
Yeah.
One point in his life, he's the baddest man in the world at 170 pounds.
Now he's got to go to bed every night thinking about, damn, I lost to a YouTuber.
Yeah,
like I sold my soul.
It is easier to go to sleep with silk sheets.
$2 million in your body.
Yeah, sleeping on a pillowcase full of $2 million. It is easier to sleep on that, but like, I don't know, man.
It's like run my bathwater. What do you mean? Make sure my bills are crispy.
Yeah.
I mean, just roll it
Turn on that gold faucet.
So, but yeah, and of course Tyrone Woodley wants to fight him again.
Yeah,
I mean,
who wouldn't?
But from what we're seeing and hearing,
dude, you look the stats up. I looked the stats up in this fight, right? Because I watched the highlights. Because did you watch the highlights?
Save $80 and watch it the next day.
Did you watch the highlights?
I did.
Did you see where Tyrone hit him? Almost put him through the ropes and then just stood there and hit jump on him? Well, anyway, so like.
He let him know he was in charge. I think that's like
he landed more power punches.
He did knock you out.
He landed more power punches, but I mean, Jake Paul did land. He landed like 30 more punches than he did throughout the fight. But like I'm looking up the stats, like total punches landed per round, then like total rounds, and they fought 8 rounds maybe. But like the average professional boxer, right, at their weight throws around 100 punches a round.
Mm-hmm.
They averaged they average like 24 punches a round.
God.
Not landed.
Just throwing them.
Just throwing
Just
them.
oh, yeah,
There was
nobody's
a couple rounds where they threw 12 to 16 punches a round.
That's pathetic.
The average professional at around their weight's 100 punches a round, which means that they have some rounds where they're throwing 140
Yeah.
or 90. Like those guys are working.
Yeah, these guys are not. They're just out there putting on the show. It's an embarrassment,
Dude,
man.
I was looking it up and like I'm talking about when we get into landed punches, there was a couple round I'm talking about a whole round where they landed 6 punches in an entire round.
Yeah, that's.
I had MMA fights where I had 100 punches landed on my face
in one round.
Like, yeah, like Jesus, guys, like you're gonna make $2 million. Like I've had an MMA fight where I made $500 in 9 minutes. Like, earn it.
Yeah.
Like if it's gonna be a fake fight, earn the money. Like earn some money.
Sell it.
Yeah,
like, sell it in the ring. You sold it on.
Yeah.
You sold it. You know, at the pay-per-view.
Don't give us a listing
Sell
fight.
it in the ring. Yeah.
Don't give us a listing
Yeah.
fight. Like
yeah.
he's down.
Yeah.
He's down.
And what did he hit him with?
Nothing.
he hit
Nothing.
him with a damn thing.
A ghost punch heard around the world. Ali, get up. You gotta sell it.
We so the 2 fight, the 4 fights, you know, he's undefeated, 4 fights, and now he's backing out. He's saying he's retired. He's going to retire. He's going to move on to something different. Did you see that?
Well, I mean, if you're that good,
Retired fighter. He's going
Yeah.
to retire undefeated.
maybe you can get one with Khabib.
I wish he would fight Khabib.
Yeah, he might box.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, he won't either. I don't care what kind of style you try to fight that cat with. Your ass is in for a long day. I mean, I don't care what you're trying to do. So,
I fight you with Baron.
I fight you with bear on back. So, his long lost his bear friend that he wrestled with when he was a little kid. This guy's so full of controversy, and I just want to. I know that he's trying to make this. He has such a bad rap. He really does, and he's trying to make it look like he's trying to give these fighters the paydays that they deserve.
They do deserve it.
They did.
They deserve
it.
And
they're never going to get that money in
No.
the UFC.
No.
Let's be honest.
As far as combat sports go, MMA fighters are the least paid, and I
They
think
have the highest risk.
they have the highest risk. And the fights are way more exciting than boxing, because at the end of the day, you go to a boxing match. Real boxing, there's a lot of punches thrown. There's a lot of risk for head damage, brain damage that I don't think you get in MMA because you cannot take 300 punches in the head.
No.
When you have a 4-ounce glove on, or you take a bare elbow or a bare knee to the head, you get 1 or 2 of
Yes,
those.
you get
you
the
go
power
nine-nine.
cut off.
Yeah, you go 9-9. But like, when you take 300 padded punches, or you get knocked out, but the eyes are open, and someone stops it, gives you an 8 count for your adrenaline to kick back in, and then you're like, oh, there's 90,000 people watching me. Like I gotta fight, and now I get knocked out 4 times in one fight. Like that's serious.
Yeah.
But when I gotta worry about someone punching me, kneeing me, elbowing me, kicking me, taking me down, choking me, breaking my arm, breaking my leg, like, and then at the end of the day, like, unless I am a top 5 guy in the world, only I'm not, clearing $30,000. Like, $30,000 sounds like a lot of money to you and me.
Yeah, it does.
But when you're a top 50 guy at boxing, and you're like, I'm getting $30-40 million a fight.
Dude, when we interviewed George Lockhart the last time he was in town,
Great guy.
George said that a lot of these guys that are fighting their way up, they have to pay to be on a card. Like, they're not even paid. Like, they're doing everything they can do.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're paying to be on a card. This is boxing, which I think that's a crime. I think that's terrible that they make these
Exposure.
Guys. Yeah. It's like look at Jake Paul, all the money he's
The
got. Look where he's at.
The stuff's so political. If you do not train in the right camp, and if
you're not connected with the right people.
If I don't train at a school who has a coach who knows famous people, or if I'm not training at a school that already has established fighters who are fighting at Bellator or the UFC, it is going to be hard. It does not matter how good I am. It is going to be hard for me to get on the card.
Unless you go to one of those camps and start training with those specific people.
Unless I leave the guys who made me who I am.
That happens all the time.
But is that right?
No, dude, it's terrible. It's terrible. I think it's terrible. Yeah. But
What kind of man are you?
what kind of
What kind of man are you?
yeah, we go back to that. It's easier to make that decision sleeping on silk sheets.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to live with that the rest of your life too. So yeah, I would never be one of those kind that just turn my back on my people. I couldn't do it. I was raised different. So, let's get into some of his legal issues and controversies. Let's go ahead and just call him out. Everybody pretty much probably heard all these stories. On January the 3rd of 2018, Paul uploaded to his YouTube channel titled "I Lost My Virginity," which used a thumbnail of himself and his then girlfriend Erica Costell, posing semi-nude on top of each other. The video was age restricted by YouTube as a result. So he just put that out there. Like, he's got all these kids, that's following him, looking at him, and he posted shit like that. Then he decided to take the thumbnail down and posted a picture of them both fully clothed, not touching each other. And then 2 days later, January the 5th, TMZ revealed that the video, which Logan Paul used a racial word, the N-word, multiple times while freestyle rapping. So a couple of heat on that. He doesn't strike me as someone who cares one way or another if he used that word or not.
No, not with the image that he gives out.
Yeah. It's cool. No, it's not cool. You got the other thing too. In January the 3rd, 2018, he set up it's kind of like a membership on YouTube where you pay $7 a person. I think it was a monthly fee. I think it actually rolled over to being like a $19.95 or $19.99 a month charge, where he was teaching kids how to be an influencer and a YouTuber and how they could create their own future and make their own money and do what he does. He also had what was called a mystery brand, where he was supposed to mail out a box to each individual, like bespoke post and things like that. He had a monthly service. There's several different ones out there. Well, he had one as a mystery box that he was going to mail out to all those people that's paying $19.99 a month. And many users complained, and they never received any boxes or any prizes promised to them. So he was just taking their money. I wanted to say he had like 23 million viewers. Gee. So you want to think about however many of that.
So 10%.
10% of that. I mean, come on. How much money was he
$20
making?
a month?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Maybe I need to download that program. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But
for real.
He's been in. Yeah, get ready to download. We're gonna start a mystery box with dirty panties.
Link at the bottom. Link at the bottom.
Mystery box with dirty panties.
Yeah.
I'll be wearing them. Of course. Yeah. He's also been in trouble with party complaints, public nuisances, and then he's also going out during the COVID shutdown, lockdown things. But he just kind of does whatever he wants to do. Kind of nothing there, nobody there to reprimand him. He just throws money at people, man, and gets away with what he does. Even when when we were going through the George Floyd protests, the Black Lives Matter movement, he was videoed, which of course it was all planned, that May the 30th of 2020, he's out having dinner at P.F. Chang's inside of an Arizona mall. The riot breaks out, and he runs in there, like videoing himself, like in the middle of the riot, like he's a part of whatever's going down. Kissing no trouble. The shittiest thing that I think he's done, and a lot of people do with a lot of money, they kind of feel like they're untouchable and get away with shit, and they do. I mean, they do it every day. April the 9th, 2021, a video was released by TikTok personality Justine Paradise, who alleged that Paul forced her into oral sex and touched her without her consent during an incident at the Team 10 house. That's where he lives, because that's where the cool people live. Team 10 house. Paul responded to the accusation, saying that he took sexual assault very serious, and he would never make light of anything like that, but it was 100% absolutely false, and that didn't happen. And Paradise released a video statement later saying that she's received numerous harassing harassment and death threats over her accusations.
And checks.
And checks.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
checks.
be quiet.
Yeah.
You can keep your fame.
Yeah.
You can keep my money.
Yeah.
Just keep my name out of your mouth.
Yeah.
So, he was investigated in Puerto Rico May 15th, 2021. I mean, this is all recent stuff. This is just a pattern. Something bad. I mean, something bad's going to.
Well, once you get to a certain point,
He's getting away with
you
what
just
he's
do,
doing.
yeah,
He's
do
doing
what
whatever
you
he
want.
wants.
Yeah, you do whatever you want.
Paul was investigated by Puerto Rican Department of Natural and Environmental Resources for riding a motorized vehicle down Puerto Rico's beach, apparently where wild sea turtles were hatching. Because he just didn't give a shit. Oh man, I just skipped over this. I'm sorry. Let me go back. He also, April 22nd, 2021, there was an article written in the New York Times about a second accusation of a model named Rayleigh Lowley, who was previously working for Paul. She began working when she was 17. Paul often called her jailbait and commented on her appearance. And after a production of a video in 2017, which would have made her, I guess she was 17, he was groping her in the video. So,
It's part of the video.
part of the video? I don't know.
I don't know if that's.
I don't know if that one's if that one sticks for me. Not trying to discredit her her claim to being assaulted. But
Yeah, is that assault if we talk about what's going to happen in the video and you agree to it?
only if you didn't pay me enough money.
I guess.
Yeah, maybe. So, but he's just always been a turd. Like, he's always been a bad dude.
Yeah, he's just a nerd. That shit bad,
Yeah, and he's just bringing a bad light into a sport that I don't know, man. I just don't feel good about it. He can use that. Hey, I'm trying to pay these guys the money they deserve.
Yeah, he's definitely
doing it for himself. Though.
He's put money in their pocket, but he's definitely just shining them on himself.
Yeah. Want to guess what this guy's net worth is? Do you know? Anywhere between $20 to $30 million.
That's crazy.
That's his net worth.
You know, I looked up. Speaking of athletes, I looked up the #1 paid athlete for 2020, 2021, and you know it was Conor McGregor.
Was it really?
Yeah, $150 million.
Oh, buddy sells a lot of Proper 12.
No, he sold it.
Did he sell the
Yeah,
company?
he sold the company. So, which I thought was crazy. #1 highest paid athlete in the world was an MMA fighter.
Yeah, that's wild.
But it's not just, he don't make all his money just
endorsements and things like that.
endorsements. He just sold his liquor
If
company.
you could think about Conor McGregor making more money than Tiger Woods,
But when he fought Mayweather,
he got paid.
I think he
He
cleared.
didn't get $2 million.
He cleared over $200 million.
Yeah.
Mayweather made over $400 million.
Yeah, Conor didn't need to fight ever again. He didn't give a shit. He was
He
set.
needs to stop because he's got so much money
Yeah.
now. He doesn't have.
He don't have the fire. He don't have.
I watched that interview with Mike Tyson one time, and he's talking about his son.
Mhm.
And his son comes up to him. He's like, "Dad, I want to be a boxer." And he's like, "Son, I can teach you how to box, but you can never be a fighter."
No,
And he's like, "What do you mean?" He goes,
he didn't live that lifestyle.
"Yeah." He's like, "You've grown up with everything you've ever needed, and you have to have something to fight for,
Mhm.
and you don't have anything to fight for because I've given you everything.
Right.
It's really my fault."
Mhm.
So that's where Conor McGregor's at right now. He's just tarnishing his legacy now.
Mhm. Yeah, he needs to just stay away from it.
Dude, him and Jose Aldo, man.
Why
I
would
love
you-
Jose Aldo.
Look, why would you not have Conor be your color guy? Pay that guy a shitload of money
Just to talk shit.
Oh my god, dude! I mean, that would be just as interesting as watching fight.
Kel Sonnen.
Chell, yeah.
He's
bad.
he's the originator.
Yeah, he is.
He's the originator of shit
he's the,
talk.
yeah, he's the originator of shit talk.
He can talk shit and never say anything offensive.
Yeah.
Ever.
Except-
Conor will say some offensive
Except
shit.
for when you tell Vanderlei Silva that if it wasn't for the UFC and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you'd just be selling Brazilian barbecue on the sidewalks in Brazil. Vanderlei didn't take to that too well.
No, he told Antonio Nogueira, he's like, I saw him try to feed a bus a carrot. He thought it was a horse. He's like, I'm trying to feed it a carrot.
What about when he said Tito Ortiz, talking about Jenna Jameson, when he's like, Tito's like, the only thing this guy gets paid to do is run his mouth. He just gets paid for that mouth he's got. And he goes, oh, it's funny coming from a guy whose wife works in the porn industry. Tito, like, he was like, fuck, I ain't got nothing else to say. He just kind of got quiet after that. So.
Joe's the best.
Yeah,
He's
he
the
is.
best.
I would love to have him on, man. I would love to talk to him. That would be great.
You ever watch his?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I
it's
do.
good.
He's got a great
It's
one.
good.
Yeah.
He's a good talker.
He
He's
is.
such a good talker.
He's got great stories too.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, man, tell everybody again about your school, where it's at, how they can get in touch with you, get class schedules and all that good stuff, and let's get you some more people in there. Let's help you get a bigger building in the years to come.
Yeah, years to
Next
come.
year.
'Cause one more year, so I got
Okay.
signed the lease, 3-year lease. So
I got you.
So I'm gonna pack them like sardines for at least 2 years, 10 months.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully we can buy Paula's out, push them on down the road. And,
oh, bro, you know I just got
have a
wrestling.
bigger building.
You see all those wrestling mats I got for the back room?
Yeah.
We just got them donated to us. They're actually the original wrestling mats from Armurchie High School
Oh, no way.
from the 70s, which is
No
awesome.
way, that is.
Yeah, so it's got some historic
Yeah, it
value
does.
to them.
There's,
Yeah.
there's been a few state champions sweating on those,
oh,
on
yeah.
those mats.
Oh yeah. So 216 Broad Street, Rome, Georgia. We're like 6-7 doors to the right of Mellow Mushroom if you're facing it. ScramblebJJandWrestling.com will have all our information on it. We got a Facebook page, Scramble BJJ and Wrestling. It'd probably be a little easier to find our schedule and stuff if you get on the website. You can message us on Facebook if you got any questions. We're open every single day of the week but Friday. Friday's the only day me and PJ take off. So
That's pretty good to take off.
yeah, well, what's crazy, we take that day off, but we do a lot of group activities with the gym. We try to keep it very family oriented, so we do barbecues, we do in-house tournaments. Like we had a tag team tournament a couple weeks, a couple months ago. What did we just do? We just had a King of the Ring tournament where we had whoever signed up. I think it was like 12 people all rolling at once. 2-minute goes. If you got subbed, you're out, right?
Nice.
So if you tapped me, you get to rest until the 2 minutes is up. But if you didn't tap me, we roll for 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes, you change partners, and it just goes on and on until there's one guy left.
Oh,
we bought like cheap crowns and a cage and stuff. And our next tournament is going to be sumo wrestling, and then before the finals, we're going to have a dance off between Gabriel and Matthew.
Oh my God.
So it's gonna be good. I'm gonna ref, I'm gonna judge, and then I think we're gonna pick 2 random people we find walking down the street.
You gotta live stream that.
Yeah, we always do on our private page.
I gotcha.
It's just that we got some members that get rowdy.
I gotcha.
So like
Sure.
we can't do everything on Facebook. on Facebook. So.
If you want to see it, you got to be there.
And I always like to referee, so I usually throw on my referee shirt, my Daisy Dukes.
I saw the picture.
Yeah. So I like to shave, put my mustache on. So.
That's great.
You know, it's all for laughs and fun, and
It's like the guy on South Park. You remember the wrestling episode of
yeah.
South Park?
Dude, it's good, man. It's good. No gyms do stuff
No,
like
they
that,
don't.
and
They
it brings us all together.
Yeah. I think it's great.
In a completely different way than
Yeah.
everybody else. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
good
good.
time.
Well, man, I'm proud of you, and I look forward to seeing you guys grow and bigger, better things on in the
Look
future.
forward to getting you in there.
Yeah, I know, bro. You know, you talk about it.
We
It took
keep
you
talking about
7 years to compete again. I think I could come in there and work out, and it'll take me 7 years to get well again. But I'm still coming, so I'm still gonna be there.
Well, I didn't want to compete. I did it because I thought we could win a team title, and I was like, I only did it for the team.
Mhm.
I didn't want to do it at all because coaching takes a lot out of you emotionally, way more than competing.
Right.
Because you get so many highs, ups and downs coaching because you can't do anything about it. Like you get exhausted.
Unless you're one of those crazy coaching parents in USA Wrestling, they just jump out on the kid's back.
Yeah, they run out there and grab the other kid and throw them.
Yes. Yeah. So
Luckily, we didn't have any of that.
Right.
Sometimes we do, but not this time.
Well, man, thank you for coming in. And again, everybody go check out ScramblebJJ
Wrestling.com.
Go check it out. And if you're looking somewhere to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Northwest Georgia, that's the only place you need to be.
Yeah,
That's where it's at.